CTO 2023 Prestige Award. Chris was recognized for the whole province of Ontario, and from Black River Madison, our CAO is the Prestige Award winner for the Association of Municipal Clerk Treasurers of Ontario. Thank you very much, Chris. We're pretty darn fortunate to have a guy at this stand. Guess we got a resolution for the confirmation of the agenda.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
And mover to seconder, I got Councillor Brewer and Councillor Gathering.
Can I read the motion?
Please.
It was moved by Councillor Drewer and seconded by Councillor Gattery that the agenda for the regular council meeting of June 27th, 2023 be approved as printed.
All those in favor? Seeing no objections, carried. Thank you, sir. The next item is item 3. It's a disclosure of pecuniary interest and any general nature thereof. Seeing no one else, I have two to declare tonight. I'll have the clerk read them.
No, Mr. Mayor.
I gotta read them. Okay, I gotta read them myself.
Yes.
Okay. So do I read the whole declaration?
Just actually read the declaration
Okay.
right here.
Okay. So I, the Mayor Doug Bender, declare a potential direct pecuniary interest on agenda item number 6A, which is the Black River Madison Family Lodge insurance item that we're going to discuss tonight. And during that portion of the meeting, I will leave the room. And the main reason for me declaring this is I am a member of the Family Lodge, not committee or executive, just a member of the lodge, which affects me. And then I'm also declaring another one. It's a busy night for me going into hiding. It's I, the Mayor Doug Bender, declare a potential direct pecuniary interest on agenda item number 7B, which is the Monroe Lake Cottage Association landfill request. And for the following reason, I'm a property owner at Monroe Lake. Yes.
So to council, when the mayor vacates his seat based on your mayor rotation schedule, Councillor Diamond will assume the chair for those two agenda items.
I see no others, so we'll move along. So we'll move along to item number 4. We got adoption of minutes, and I need a mover and a seconder. I got Councillor Rondo and Councillor Getty.
Moved by Councillor Rondo and seconded by Councillor Gattery that the following minutes are hereby adopted. Minutes of a regular council meeting held May 23rd, 2023. Minutes of a special council meeting held May 26th, 2023. Minutes acknowledged are minutes of the library board meeting held June 12th, 2023.
No questions or concerns regarding those items? All those in favor? Seeing no objections, carried. And we'll move on to item 5. It's regarding our consent agenda. I need a mover and a seconder again. I got Councillor Rondo and Councillor Drew.
Moved by Councillor Rondo and seconded by Councillor Drewer. Be it resolved that the consent agenda items as listed on the June 27th, 2023 council agenda be received as the motions contained therein be approved and recorded as listed below.
No questions or concerns regarding the resolution? I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor? Seeing no objections, carried. Big long one. Consent agenda bigger than everything else. So then I guess we're going to move into item number 6, which is 6A, which is our delegations, and I have to leave the chair. Turn the chair over to Councillor Diamond. Thank you, Councilor Diamond. Yes.
Pardon me? Oh, we do. We do not, there's no reason for council to look at themselves on the screen.
Yeah, and that's just the camera. That's all that's going to present. You're on.
So, Mr. Chair, just to remind you, when you're ready, you can invite our delegation to come and present to council. I'll remind you when the 15 minutes is up. And the presentation is based on the delegation form that Mr. Ellison has submitted.
Okay. So at this point, I'd like to welcome Mr. Elmer Hodgson. And
Yes.
I'll remind you of up to 15 minutes.
Okay, it shouldn't take me very long. This is fairly short. Anyway, my name is Elmer Otteson, and I am the president of the Black River Matheson Family Lodge as of about a year. Anyway, to get to the point, the hall was leased from the Boy Scouts, technically, or I have an issue to that. Anyway, on February the 28th, 1999. And since then, the Black River Matheson Family Lodge committee has handled all of the business of the lodge, including buying insurance to cover the lodge and the what do you call our insurance for liability. So anyway, on November the 15th, we paid a bill to our insurance company of $916.82 to cover the first 6 months of 2023. We paid that outright. We've been paying that since 1999. We were expected to pay another $833 on June the 1st to cover the second half. Anyway, early in January, we got a bill from the township for $2,291. We didn't know what that was all about, but because we thought we have been paying our own insurance forever, and so we never really thought that much about it. Anyway, we had never paid taxes before, as we talked to, I specifically spoke with Cassandra about that, and she agrees that we had not paid any insurance bills previous to this one that she sent out this year. Now, I believe that was an oversight on the council's part, because well, there seemed to be a discrepancy on the hall. Anyway, okay, we're going to get down to what I'm trying to do here tonight is we would like to get this revised to reflect the second half of 2023, considering we had paid on our own behalf. We had already paid the first half. We as council are willing to pay the second half of the year to the township, and which would come to $1,061 instead of 2,200 and whatever it was, 2,200 and okay, that pretty much covers. I think I wrote that in what we as council, or we as the executive of the Black River Matheson Family Lodge would like to sort this all out, get it set so that it's not a burden to the lodge. The lodge has no money. We run pretty much on a zero deficit or zero budget. And so we would like to get this straightened out, and we would pay the second half of the year to the township, and then continue to pay them in the future for our insurance. And we have already canceled with our own private insurance company. Now, just so that everybody knows, our insurance for ourselves was going to be a total of $1,750 if we paid it outright for the whole year for our private insurance, and that would include liability insurance for our members. The bill from the township is considerably more, and not only that is it considerably more, it does not cover liability for our members. So we still have to outright pay for liability, which is fine. we're good with that. But I'd like to see a resolution to for the second, or for this bill, for this month, for this year, and then start off next year all fresh. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time to hear me out and maybe correct this oversight that seems to have happened with the lodge. That's all I have to say, really.
Thank you, Elmer.
Yes, we can make them.
Do we have any questions?
Yes, so you were stated that the lodge has paid for their own insurance in the past.
We've always been paying for our own insurance for the last 21 years or
So
24.
the township has never paid for the insurance before?
I don't know. I don't know what the township has done. They have never sent us a bill, so we don't know what the township has done about the hall.
We need clarification.
If I can just, so a portion of this conversation would also have to go into closed. However, what I can say in open is that insurance has been held on the family lodge ever since we've had insurance.
Okay.
Then there's been an oversight with the billing. So the insurance on the family lodge from the township's perspective is obviously liability on the building. As Mr. Otteson has indicated, his members will still require liability insurance. And any equipment that they may own, which they have to have their own insurance for that. Our insurance is strictly for the building.
Who owns this lodge? Is
There's a question. Cassandra can answer.
This township owns the lodge. The
Okay.
township then has a lease with Scouts Canada. Scouts Canada then subleased it to the family lodge. The CAO found that Scouts Canada does not have the right to sublease to the family lodge, but this has been in existence now before I was even put treasurer.
Like I said, I have a document here from, signed by a bunch of members from Scouts Canada and a bunch of members of the family lodge back in February 28, 1999, which gives the family lodge the right to, but we didn't know that they didn't have the right to lease to us, so as far as we knew, this was all legal.
So if council maybe agrees, if there's no more questions, maybe we just sleep on it, do a research as to ownership and insurance, and then we make a decision once we're all fully apprised on the information.
yeah, we need more than clarification.
If you need numbers, I can give you numbers as to how much we paid before and how much we paid this year. I've mentioned them here a couple of times, but our insurance at the our insurance at the insurance company was $1,750, and yet the township here is paying $2,100 or $2,200. It seems a little bit of a discrepancy, but anyway, that's.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
am I free to leave?
Yeah, my question is probably, Cassandra's
Yeah.
probably the one who can answer that one. Scouts Canada still use the building,
They have not since 1999.
and yet they're still leasing it from you guys, from us.
If I can, and the CAO can also comment, because it's the CAO who did find the discrepancy. We council, the township has an
Yeah.
agreement with Scouts Canada,
Okay,
period.
well, okay.
Could you repeat that for me? I didn't quite understand like, how did the Scouts Canada get to lease the township or lease the lodge?
How,
Well, I just don't, the question she asked was did the Scouts Canada have the right to lease or whatever it was that,
if I can.
Yeah, Chris, probably best to answer that.
Yeah, so the lease between Scouts Canada and the township was not assigned. So Scouts Canada did not have the right to assign the lease to anybody. It says right in the lease. So Scouts Canada should have known at the time that they assigned the lease or intended to defend it, which is unfortunate. That they did not have.
it is
They
rather.
would have known. So, in retrospect, I guess the Scouts Canada should be responsible for all the costs. As they look for it, or they should have canceled the lease.
Well, they reassigned those costs to us
But they
because,
couldn't do that. They didn't have
well,
the right to do it, right?
okay, maybe they didn't have the right, but
So
they did.
it would have been easy to just cancel the scouts lease and then enter into one with Family Lodge, but whoever was handling it at that time didn't do that, which is unfortunate because here we are today.
Yes, and here we are today. I have a letter, or not a letter, but I have a receipt from Donna Lehman, who is representing the Scouts Canada, saying that we still pay, and we paid $10 for our yearly lease or whatever, just last month or 2 months ago. So, you know, we're still paying Scouts Canada for that lease.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that anymore.
You're probably right.
Through your worship, is there a way for us to cancel this lease with Scouts Canada?
Well,
Since
absolutely.
obviously they're gonna just in there and then turn it over to.
Yeah, and
Family
that,
Lodge.
just so you know, Councilor Drew, that was a subject of previous conversations, and I will tell you that all the family halls that we have, the leases are a mess. They're all different. And they call for different rents and different costs, and so I said, look, let me take this away, I'll come back, do a common lease for Family Lodge and the others. There might be some nuances that would be different, but it was sort of sitting down here in the priority list opposed to up here. But we have not lost track of it. And I think for the immediate things, council needs to decide what they're gonna do with the Family Lodge situation. Terms.
There was a report made of all the different leases and lodges, so unless no one's read it, perhaps we should get it and review it, and then we can make a better decision.
Yeah.
We can receive.
Councilor Neil.
For your worship, would there be an opportunity not just to examine this lease, but all the leases at the same time? And
Yes.
actually put a blanket bylaw for all those as far as the direction even we're heading as a council.
Mhm.
Well, that's the idea.
Yeah.
It's having the time to write it,
Yeah,
right? So, yeah, that is absolutely the idea. This is the problem in front of us right now. We don't have any problems with the other lodges. Would, however, they always come up every year. There's always some issue.
Yeah.
So we want to get this done. But as I said, we've got some other priorities we've got to get on.
At this point, the question is regarding insurance and not lease agreement, so.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your time, and we'll.
All right, thank you. Thank you for hearing me out.
thanks, Ellen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening.
Bye.
If council's done discussing the matter.
Are we done with the insurance matter?
So we get more information, we get more info, we can.
So we
Okay,
do
over.
have that report somewhere. We wrote that.
I can, I'll email it.
In the email somewhere, it's just.
There you go. Do you want me to get that?
Yes, that would be.
Could we move to 6 feet before? he
Yeah,
leaves
can we
here?
do that on road?
Back downstairs, he's in from the Monroe Lake Cottage Association.
Sure, so as long as I have 2/3 consent from council, so if
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you can just make sure.
They don't know how to go up and down.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move agenda item 7B above 7A, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gonna tell him, Lisa?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, we need to help me up the stairs. Good for his
You're
birdie.
not nice.
We see them in some steps there.
Mr. Chair.
You can read 7D.
Yes. Mr. Chair, I need a mover and a seconder.
Councilor Neil, Councilor Gathering,
Can I read the motion?
please.
It was moved by Councillor Neal and seconded by Councillor Gaddery. Whereas the Monroe Lake Cottage Association has submitted a request to access the municipal landfills for waste disposal purposes. And whereas the municipality is committed to responsible waste management practices and ensuring the efficient and effective operation of the landfills. And whereas to better plan and manage landfill resources, it is necessary to gather more detailed information on the quantity and types of garbage that the Monroe Lake Cottage Association intends to dispose of. Now therefore be it resolved that council requests staff to prepare a report on the feasibility and impact of permitting the Monroe Lake Cottage Association to utilize the municipal landfills.
Questions?
I know. What's that gonna cost? Like our landfills already, what maxed out already is, but just like now we're gonna add cottages to that. How's that gonna impact? Landfills. Cause if Monroe's asking for it, I'm assuming Perry Lake's gonna be next, and then every other off-grid person that doesn't qualify for any of our landfills, and want to see the request. If this goes through.
Chris, you think you're gonna enlighten us?
Well, that turned out landfill's not gonna go. So we open. You're gonna be looking at costs because there is a cost every time you open a landfill. And when I say open, that doesn't mean you're developing, it's already there. It's open and
So they want us to open their landfill, and then
our life. We own it.
we own the landfill in Monroe? I thought that was unorganized.
It's, if I can, Mr. Chair, Monroe, it is an unorganized area, but we still own the landfill.
So when you open it, you're gonna be accumulating operational costs, insurance costs, taxation costs, well, taxation costs. And also engineering costs too, because that's the engineer has to come in here. We're already paying about $98,000 a year for engineering costs. For other things. So that's number one. The second thing is they have to remember, I'm not even sure that our C of A allows us to accept waste from outside our municipality into any of our landfills. I have the C of A, I haven't read it in detail. So certainly, I would recommend the council goes ahead with the decision tonight. Best case scenario is you're gonna have to staff a little bit of report that we're going to discuss it. And then you have to consider that once that landfill is not being used and it's closed, there's closure costs. And so the closure costs are going to fall to the residents. Residents, or the great grandchildren residents here in Blackbird Mountains. So if you do that and we're allowed, then the fee has to represent not just the operational costs, but also the future costs. So in our engineer provide us with those costs, which might bump up the fees, something that's not going to happen.
Council Rundle?
Okay, so unorganized township, we still own the landfill. Can we not just turn the landfill over to the cottagers and they do what they want with it? And it's not our cost?
It's an asset to us.
Is it
Yeah.
really a landfill?
The landfills are investments. And if you've got a landfill that you can put garbage into, don't get rid of it, because to open a brand new greenfield is millions. So that's why we're fortunate that we have this asset.
That's fine, it's like unrealistic for taxpayers of this municipality to be responsible for the costs of them not paying taxes, and they want the landfill use, so to me, it's just, that's my thing, my theory on it, but.
Councilor Neil?
Yes, your worship. So when it comes to this, is there a way that we just offer them the rain ward, that they would take their garbage to the rain ward, rather than trying to do anything out of Monroe Lake?
That's certainly an option. Again, I go all back to the C of A, right? We have to make sure that that's allowed. And again, the landfill's filling up quicker, and I don't, I've been told there's a couple hundred.
Which rights to back to Chris again. So could we as council recommend that they, I'm not sure what the complication was, but if that actually they were going to use our dump site and they're outside of our township. Because I know for the fire department, we go past them out towards the Quebec border. That if they would want to use it, then they would have to pay or else to join part of the township and then pay the taxes for everything else that the, the fire department or the garbage disposal. So
That's an interesting thing to annex Monroe Lake, because and that would be a little bit further study, but I like how an idea this system done, we can certainly would attract taxes. And so what are the additional services you have to provide in fire and in garbage?
Yeah.
So these have costs too, would probably increase for ambulance, that type of thing, but it might be something worthwhile looking at. Now, in order to do an annexation like that, you need to double the majority. So the majority of people in Black River Massive majority of people in that unorganized area all have to agree
That they wanna go.
that they work now. I live myself, I live in the unorganized area, I don't care less about, if somebody came down to their annexed area, I'd be fine with it, but I can tell you, the general people that live in unorganized live there for a reason. They don't like going from this and all that kind of stuff, and so
They don't have to do it.
the rules are there, they're just not applied. And so, but regardless, they may say, nah, we're not interested, but it might be something worthwhile looking at. And I could certainly reflect that in the report on the land growth issue, directly, so.
I was gonna suggest having user fees before.
Yeah, you would do that anyways, Louise. I mean, it's just what would the fee be, because it's not just like paths or the Black River does.
Yeah,
You
you
gotta-
have to pay more.
Yeah, you've got to include those future costs. So, and if we can't get over the C of A this year, then it's not possible. So I have to do C of A anymore.
Sure.
Through your worship to Chris, where are they dumping their garbage now? Yeah, can I ask?
I don't know. I suspect some of it is getting it for it. Not all of it.
Yeah.
Because, we have waste for stuff that goes around town. They're just like traveling, they're going through the town. They're very difficult thing. Not all of it would be, that's too much, there's no way. They could be getting people from town to help them take their garbage. It's probably a mixed bag.
Oh, burning it too.
Well, what I can understand is why the ministry of natural resources usually manages these landfill dumps in unorganized, why they allow them to accumulate some homes there and didn't provide for the waste. It doesn't make much sense.
Your worship, but yeah, it's like Kim was saying, like it's. And you were saying like there's 200 cottages just in, and then Perry, then add Perry Lake to that, so Perry Lake gets wind of that. They're gonna wanna do the same thing, and I know for a fact we're getting a lot of off-grid people living on the 101. I know one works with us. And she was the first one to ask me, what do I do about garbage? Well, you don't pay taxes, you're not part of the township, so no. Like, that was my answer to her, but I mean, like,
You also have a medieval village at Swan Lake too, that is being constructed, and I don't know where that waste is going.
well, and that's like, to me, that's just
And one
extra
of-
burdens for our landfills that we're paying for, but the taxpayers are already irate as it is, so, I don't think that's gonna fly with the taxpayers myself, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, your worship, this for information. My son lives on Nelly Lake, and his half is under the municipality, that isn't. For his house, when he first bought it, $12,000 a year taxes, which is a substantial amount of money coming to the township. For property on the waterfront. And that's why I was thinking if they were to join the township, tax money would definitely be a benefit to
Absolutely.
the township. That's why I thought that was a possibility. Financially, it would actually be a benefit, I believe, to the township rather than a liability. I thought, again, got to study, can't really say that.
We can, we can put some really rough numbers together, I think. For the report, who will we get for a second.
Oh, if they're willing to come back into the township and be, like you said, annex, it's not a problem, but if they want to stay unorganized, then we shouldn't be responsible. For their garbage, is my thinking, like, and like you said, in an arch that. Maybe designated an area for it.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I live in the northern side of the dump. Half a kilometer
Yeah.
from my house. So, I mean, it's just self-service stuff. There's a person there, but you don't need garbage.
We have enough illegal dumping as it is in our township, and Raymore is a huge problem.
It's interesting, illegal dumping is that people will say, well, if you don't let me access the landfill, I'll just dump it in the bush. The people that dump it in the bush will do it anyway.
Yeah.
They're just, they don't do it because they have to pay, and they don't do it because they don't have access. They do it because they do it anyway.
Any more questions? We need to vote on this?
Yeah, there was a motion read, Mr. Chair, so the motion is on the table. If you want me to reread it.
No, we don't need to read the
Okay.
motion, really. So, all in favor?
Mr. Johnson. Nation, we'll have this thing in the inbox about the whole.
Thank you. Yes, we can. Thank you, Councilor. Councilor, I also don't call there, which the point.
That was good.
That was cute too.
You like this one better?
Yeah.
Back to 7A.
Yes.
You guys got everything under control again. I could have just stayed down there. Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Diamond. And we'll move on to item under new business, item 7A. Must have a resolution. We need a mover and a seconder again. I got Councillor Rondo and Councillor Neal. Blah, 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 blah. I'm getting forgetful.
It's there, and I'm feeling you.
Yeah,
Can I read the motion? Mr. Mayor?
absolutely, please.
Moved by Councillor Rondo and seconded by Councillor Neal. Whereas the municipal council has made the decision to sell the museum based on considerations such as financial viability, strategic direction, and community needs. And whereas the sale of the museum will bring out significant changes to its operations, governance, and overall organizational structure. And whereas it has been determined that the continued existence of the museum committee is no longer necessary as its mandate will cease to be applicable following the sale. Therefore, be it resolved that council hereby dissolves the museum committee effective immediately, and that council directs staff to communicate the decision to dissolve the museum committee to all committee members, providing them with the necessary details and expressing gratitude for their valuable contributions.
Having heard the resolution, all those in favor of the resolution? Seeing no objection, carried. And we already did 8. Oh, wait, sorry, we did 7, whatever.
Yes, we did.
Okay. So now we're moving on to our reports then.
Yes.
So 9A, we got the fire department May monthly report. We have the resolution, I'm assuming. So I need a mover and a seconder again. Councillor Neal and Councillor Drury.
Moved by Councillor Neal, seconded by Councillor Drury, that council receive the fire chief May monthly report FC-2023-05 as information.
Yes, Councillor Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a few questions. First, I have a comment. I think we should all take a couple sighs of relief and thank all of our volunteer firefighters.
Yeah.
Not only May, but June has been very, very busy. And
And could have been very, very, very bad if they hadn't been on top of things.
yeah, so we owe them a debt of our gratitude. One question is on the report regarding maintenance. Entrance to Volganya Fire Hall needs a little work, ground is settled. Need curb removed or replaced in front of the Volganya Fire Hall. That's been on the fire chief report since June of 2021. So whether we want to revert back to the previous public works or our new public works people, things like that should be on a report 2 years. So when will it be completed? Is my question.
First, can we, did you want to respond to that, or I mean, I have my own thoughts, but
I can't say when. As Councilor Diamond indicates, been on there for quite a long time. I'll speak with the fire chief. I'll speak with the working foreman tomorrow. And we'll have him go and evaluate it, see if you we can put it on the state of done, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, yes.
My question is too, is if it's been there since 2021, why has it not been given it to the treasurer to add it in the budget? So it was not in the budget.
I can't speak on behalf of the fire chief, but I'm assuming he didn't know.
But that's where we work together to make sure it's
Yeah.
reflected in the budget, because now this is not budgeted for.
Just saying, if we all read these reports, we all know that it's there. We have to ask the question. So I'm just asking the question.
Thank you for the question, and I think based on the response that I've heard, I think there's a plan. That's a concept on them.
While we're on the fire department thing, is it possible to get a yield sign put on the 572 at the entrance of the fire hall there, on both entrances actually, but mainly on the 572 side, coming in from, if you're going to Raymore from Hall Fire. If those firefighters are coming out of that hall, I know for a fact, since common sense doesn't prevail anywhere, somebody's gonna hit that fire truck one of these days, and we're trying to beat the fire truck out of the yard. Going to Raymore, and one's coming out, there's no signage there whatsoever. There should be a yield sign just before their entrance on 572, just for safety. And, you know, people need to have a sign in their face saying, it's a fire hall, people are gonna like,
Yeah.
feel oncoming, like,
And I don't know if it's a yield sign or if we just need to put some more signage saying fire station, there's enough of something along those lines that could be put up anyway.
something anyway. I think
Yeah.
something should be put there myself personally, but
Chris, can we leave that?
The
with
word-
you?
word-
So at least,
fire, they have to give way to the firefighters that are coming out of the hall. They have the right. of way.
Not a. Just picturing, that's not.
But you know what you know what I mean,
Like,
right?
look up the highway traffic.
Something, yeah.
Emergency.
Some guilty emergency vehicle.
Out
or something
emergency
like that.
vehicle entrance,
Yeah,
something like that. So,
and yes, Councilor.
Yeah, your worship, just to the maintenance of that, besides with the sign, can that be put on the docket so that it does get on the budget for
Mhm.
next year? Because right now we did not budget for this year, so that actually is, an item that will be raised in next year's budget, meeting, so it actually gets taken care of. Can I make that as a motion?
Yes,
Well, I'll also follow up with the fire chief.
Okay,
to see if it's gonna need to be a budgetary item, because it may not require, it may be very simple fix. Just hasn't been done for whatever reason. But I think they're all good comments. Anything else in that report? If not,
Over here.
Over here. Oh, yes, Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Regarding the fire department, but not on the report. I attended a fire in mid-June, I can't remember what day it was. We received a call at 2 PM for a house on fire in Old Tire. Got home at 9. 9:44, we were dispatched to another brush fire, got home at 3 AM. So, I called, that day I called my work and told them I wouldn't be in for night shift. I got paid 11 hours to not go to work. I believe, and that's like an equal, I believe McEwen has the same policy. I talked to 3 of our firemen who attended from 2 PM until 3 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know, I'm gonna speak at a term maybe perhaps, but I don't know if they got paid. Or if they have to, I'll use the word fight to get paid. But I have an old policy here that says that they may be compensated 3 hours. To a maximum of 1 point.
You're talking municipal employees here?
Yeah, so I don't know how the rest of councilors feel, but as volunteers, we're putting our lives in line to go and fight fires, fight brush fires. And for you to lose wages and get paid back 3 hours, to me is not very, it's not worth it. If we're trying to attract firemen and fire ladies. And if you're told you're gonna miss a shift and make, you know, how many hundreds of dollars you're making, you're gonna get 3 hours back. If this is an old policy, maybe if it's been updated, I don't know, but. A couple of our firemen are also attending, like seniors day and stuff like that. I know that's voluntary, so that might be a little cloudy, but at the very least. We can give them thanks online here, but we need to compensate them. Because the big companies are doing it. And if we're not treating our own employees out the same way, it doesn't look good for us.
It sounds something, so I guess, Chris, I was.
The chief raised that with me after that incident that you just spoke about, Councilor Diamond, and I told him that we would look into it. I wasn't aware that there was no other policy. I suspect that there are more updated policies out there. So I told him that I would look at it. Because it makes complete sense to do that, so.
Just talking about.
So how do I'd like to get something in writing and get a result. I don't want these guys, they got a bad taste in about that, right? But we need to, in my opinion, we need to back pay them.
Well, the other thing is, I'm not aware that any of those folks have ever asked for reimbursement. It is.
They fill out forms. Okay.
And I'm not.
Yeah.
But we'll look at that, but yeah, if you do a motion, it's fine.
Yeah, I just want them looked after. Every one of them is hardworking.
Yeah.
And we need to become good for it.
Yes, Councilor.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a chance as well that, as the township back can actually send a letter to any of the gold companies or companies that these people are working in. And make a request, again, due to the nature of the work they're doing as volunteers, that those companies, if they don't have policy to pay them, that is something they would reconsider as well.
I am in the process of attempting to have a meeting with the one company that's already looks like they have it under control, like Nico Eagle, for some other stuff that I'd like to talk to them about, but I'm also gonna be talking to another major mining company or two major mining companies from the area about opportunities, so I would definitely be willing to raise those issues. And as far as the resolution, I think it would probably, I don't know, Councilor Diamond, would it be suitable if Chris brings something back, maybe even something to brief for our next meeting, Chris, or is that way too? I know you're buried in work, I know.
No, it's, I'll have the.
Well, even if somebody could find the updated policies or whatever and make sure the council deals with it at the next meeting, would that be reasonable?
Yeah.
Councilor Diamond, would that be acceptable? Put that on our next meeting agenda, which is in July.
Yeah, I would think so, as long as it's not forgotten and.
Let's make sure it's on our next agenda that we'll at least, whether or not Chris has had time to look at it or not, council can at least look at the situation. Would that be reasonable? Then it's properly addressed on the agenda?
Yeah, and I know it's on a budget item because you can't budget for accidents, but
No.
Their wages are like the town employees, their wages are budgeted for an entire year.
Yeah.
So the only time you have an increment is when they leave, if you had to have something to work with. Which.
Pretty rare.
You couldn't kill.
thank you.
Very good. And we haven't passed our resolution. Have we?
No, there's still a motion on the table, Mr. Mayor.
Did you actually read that? Or-
I did.
Okay, sorry. So, since we've read it and I'm that forgetful, I'll just ask for all those in favor of the resolution. In favor? Seeing no objections, carried. So, anyway, you don't want to Japan.
Mandatory for all employers to pay. Their volunteer firefighter employees.
Yeah.
When they go on schools.
I agree 100% with what you said, everybody said actually on these subjects, and I think we need to do it, but we should probably deal with it properly and have it on our next agenda. And whether we have, if we can find an updated policy, great, and if there is no updated policy, then we can update.
And not just the small companies, even if, like, not just the big companies, the small, anybody, any employer, no matter what size of company it is, if your employee is a volunteer firefighter. One day you're gonna wish that one day it'll be you that's calling for protection. That's what Brigus, when I worked for Brigus, they used to pay me, I was on a fire department. And they paid my salary every time I left. They let me leave work too, on top of that. They're saying, you're our fire protection, so why would we say no? That's what their logic was. That's what everybody's logic, every business, every employer in the township, that should be their logic.
I agree, but we can't force anybody to do, but we can definitely reach out to everybody.
Absolutely.
But keep in mind too, that some of these are voluntary, right? So like a seniors day.
Yeah.
If a fireman wants to, or firefighter wants to attend a seniors day. It's not life threatening, but on the other hand, it's public awareness, it's public
Yes.
Education.
education. So if that could be part of the policy as well, just so that there's 100% clarification.
Very good, thank you. We've taken it, yes.
There's one caveat there, we should make sure that They're either getting credit in the points in the point system, or they're getting paid, not both.
Yeah, it's pretty minor, but you're right.
So we should distinguish in the policy with respect to that. And I'm not, I mean, the point system for volunteer firefighters
It's pretty.
across the province is different. So if, for example, they were getting points to go to senior state, well, then they shouldn't get replacement wages, they should get their points. So, I think we probably have some document that's how the points are distributed. So I'll reference that as well when I'm going through that.
Good stuff. Thank you. Next item we have is nine B. And I know we have another resolution. I'm going to move her a second again, Councillor Neal and Councillor Gathering.
Moved by Councillor Neal and seconded by Councillor Gaddery that council received the library CEO May monthly report 2023-06 as information.
Any questions, concerns regarding the report? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution? Seeing no objections, carried. The next item is nine C, Executive Assistant May Monthly Report. Got a resolution here again. I got Councillor Brewer and Councillor Rondo.
Moved by Councillor Drewer and seconded by Councillor Rondo that council received the executive assistant May monthly report EA 2023-005 as information.
Yes, Councillor Rabbit?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, I'd like to congratulate Hanji on his recent successes. And on page 4 of Hanji's report, it says, considering these circumstances, the township of Blackbird, Massey must adopt a proactive approach to distinguish itself from other applicants. It would be crucial to explore alternative means such as building strong partnerships, leveraging community resources and such. So my question is, what can we do as council to help Hanji and his team create these relationships and be more successful? Because it's written here that he needs it. So what do we need to do to help him?
Anji?
So through the mayor, so we've been applying for these grants in-house. Our team is dwindling this weekend now. So our resources are getting smaller towards these grants. It's not necessarily our expertise, but we're doing our best. We're doing our best to fulfill all the requirements, but if you look at the applications, they always ask to go a little bit above and beyond. So to me, that means reaching out and establishing a network and relationships beyond just us as a township. Meeting at conferences, emails and such. We've been doing that, Lisa and I have been doing that, and we're meeting with regional directors, sending out emails, but that's just us as staff. It would help if perhaps council, mayor, or other people were getting more involved and just show that, hey, like, we need these grants, we need these resources. We're not just another applicant in the pool, that these things ourselves in good measure.
Yes, Councillor Patton.
So just if you could perhaps, when there is a grant available, let us know, and whoever has that, 2 or 3 people who have expertise in that area could join you and create that partnership.
The mayor, yeah.
Yes, Councillor, or yes, Anji.
So a large part of that, a lot of these grants are very specialized. So the last couple were senior oriented. There's a couple coming up that are direct oriented. Generally, when you have committees available, you would lean on them for library resources and extra help. But our committees aren't in full swing yet, so unfortunately, we haven't been able to do it. The councils are already members of those committees, but the committees haven't started meeting yet because there's lack of quorum. So it's kind of like a pyramid issue, right? Where we want to lean on you, but there's a committee for it, so we want to go to the proper channels.
And I know, speaking for myself, Anji, you and Chris and Cassandra and everybody else are doing a lot of hard work on getting this stuff out there, and I realize that just not enough hours in a day to get it all done. But in regards to a lot of these grant applications, like the CEO is aware, I do have some relationships outside of the municipality that are actually worthwhile chasing down a little bit. So if there's stuff that you need, please let me know, because there is people that I can talk to to help you. Thank you.
The motion's still on the table. though.
Still on the table? Oh, I thought we, so there's no other questions. You want to read it or?
I
Yeah, already read it. So, okay, so, sorry. We get off track here and I get off track. Sorry about that. All those in favor of the resolution? Seeing no objections, carried. And we'll move to 9D and we have the. We're gonna have the resolution for Aqua monthly report by Councillor Brewer and Councillor Schmidt.
It was moved by Councillor Drewer and seconded by Councillor Schmidt that council receive the Aqua Black River Matheson Operation Report 2023 first quarter as information.
Any question or concerns from council? Seeing none, all those in favor? Seeing no objections, carried. So then we're gonna move into 10A under bylaws. And we must have a resolution.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, so-
This one?
So that's the Valganye,
Oh, it's, sorry, I missed it.
that's okay.
Thank you. 9E, so the Valgani,
Drinking water.
drinking water inspection report. So, mover to seconder again. Councillor Brewer and Councillor Gary.
Moved by Councillor Drewer and seconded by Councillor Gadry that council receive the Valganye Drinking Water System 2022-2023 inspection rating report as information.
Questions, concerns, seeing none, all those in favor? Seeing no objections, carried. We'll move to 10A now. It'll be under bylaws, and we have another resolution, a mover and a seconder again, please. I got Councillor Neal and Councillor Rodd.
Moved by Councillor Neal, seconded by Councillor Rondo, that bylaw number 2023-38 being a bylaw to amend bylaw number 2023-11, being a bylaw of the Corporation of the Township of Black River Matheson to provide for drainage works in the Township of Black River Matheson known as Vimy Ridge Drain. Be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 27th day of June, 2023. Yes.
More housekeeping, good stuff. No question, no concern. All those in favor of the resolution? Seeing no objections, carried. That's good last time. You see that one?
We should get on
Hey, the money girl. We'll move on to 11A. We got we're gonna have a resolution here to revise our regular council meeting schedule. Move the resolution, right?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Mover to seconder, I got Councillor Brewer and Councillor Schmidt.
It was moved by Councillor Drewer and seconded by Councillor Schmidt, whereas the last scheduled council meeting at the Shillington Community Hall was canceled due to unforeseen circumstances. And whereas council had previously decided to schedule a meeting at each community hall. Therefore, be it resolved that council schedule a regular council meeting at the Shillington Community Hall on the following date. For council to determine tonight. Doesn't matter to me when.
It probably matters more to staff as far as what's going on or what I know you're always in the middle of a million things. And I mean, would there be a good date? Do we want to wait till fall now or what's council's feelings? We have one meeting in July and one meeting in August. Would it make more sense to do it from one of the meetings in the fall? Yes, is it? Oh, we'll avoid that one. Which should be. Yeah, no, so we'll go into September or?
If I can, Mr. Mayor, so the schedule was provided to council, so council can help see. You'll see at the end of September, you're in Raymore. And at the beginning of November, you're in Valganye.
So October might make sense.
What date would council like?
24.
I like people when we make a decision. Why not?
Just have a look at it, yeah, that's the date.
Yes. Oh, Council Brad?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can you just remind me, what are the costs involved when we go to Raymore or we go to Valganye? What are the costs involved? staff?
There's gonna be, yes, go ahead.
So on that, Councillor Diamond, we haven't done it in a while, but each hall will decide whether or not they bill us. Some of your halls, which again, you own them, but some of them bill us for the use of the hall and others don't.
Okay.
So you have the cost of the hall rental and whether or not council submits a mileage claim.
But what would staff, do we have an idea of staff cost, Excel cost?
Oh, well, the cost would just be of staff time. I'm already paid a car allowance, so I don't claim for the mileage. Same with the CAO, he receives a car allowance, he doesn't receive, so there's nothing to claim there. It would be our staff, just that time.
Yes, Councillor Batten.
And it's very, I know we probably beat this to death, but why have we not chosen to say do two in Shillington and two in Raymore and two in Bolton?
That's what I'm thinking too, yeah. We can do more.
We're,
But,
I think I'll allow the clerk to answer that, but my own feelings based on discussions I've had is it takes more of an effort to take everything and set it all up at the different halls than it does just to have it here.
that's why I asked what the cost for
Well, it's not, it's more time and effort, I think, more than anything.
time was cost.
Cassandra, do you want to speak to that, or do you want to add anything to my job?
Well, if I can, so just a reminder, so it was set up as going to one place per
Yeah.
quarter that was brought up by a council that's actually no longer with us, but it was adopted by a council. You can change that, it's just, it becomes very cumbersome for staff, so while it may not look like a lot. It's a lot for staff to then travel to these each places where you have to bring documents, and as much as you have to set it up properly so that it looks like a council chamber, so. When me saying it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're lacking staff. Half an hour means a lot. So I'm not saying it's not doable, just recognize that if council makes that decision, it's more on staff. While it doesn't seem like a lot, it can be.
And I believe up till now, what we had basically suggested is that we were going to reinstate going back, because it hasn't been done for a few years. So we're actually going to reinstate going back to each of the outlying community areas and try it and see what kind of response we get. And then after that, I think as a council, we had kind of agreed that we would review it at that point and then determine if that was something we wanted to continue or expand, or would that be satisfactory, Councilor Brown? Or do you have more thoughts?
No, I know we left the arena. Because
And
of
then we left
hockey,
the
we
library.
left the library. I didn't know if those spots were becoming available again. Just,
And if we go back to one of those spots, then we can review the whole thing again.
yeah, I'm just trying to get out there more.
Yeah, I agree. I have some more thoughts that I would love to tell council about at some point too. So anyway, let's put this resolution out there. You didn't read the date off on the resolution again.
No, I can, I added it, if council's okay with that, I would just read the therefore be it resolved with the date, that way council knows what date.
Yes.
Therefore be it resolved that council schedule a regular council meeting at the Shillington Community Hall on the following date, October 24th, 2023.
That sounds good. All those in favor of the resolution, seeing no objection, carried. Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay. And then we're going to go to item B. We have a resolution again on the accessibility committee.
Yes, Mr.
I move in a seconder. I got Councilor Rondo and Councilor Gatter.
It was moved by Councilor Rondo, seconded by Councilor Gadry, that council appoint the following individuals to the Accessibility Advisory Committee, Norm Denis and Carol Denis.
All those in favor of the resolution? Any objections, carried. So we will actually have a committee.
Yes, that can be.
That was my question.
Yes, I. Yes.
Your worship, just, can I have email addresses for, members for Norman and Carol? I don't have their email address. Or for the rec committee for contact information, because we do have enough people, even for the rec committee to meet. I just don't have any contact information. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
So what we'll do is, if I can, Mr. Mayor, address council,
Yeah.
whatever committee you sit on, we'll share with you those committee members' contact information.
Which sounds what makes a lot of sense. So we have nothing else under other business, and I guess our next item is to move into closed.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
We move in a second or move into closed by Councillor Gathering and Councillor Jordan.
Was moved by Councillor Gaddery and seconded by Councillor Jur. That council now comes into a portion of the meeting that shall be closed to the public at 7:31 PM. In accordance with the municipal act, to discuss personal matters about an identifiable individual and land acquisition disposition. This is being done under section 239 subsection 2 clause B. So the personal identifiable individual is the director of public works position. Under section 239 subsection 2 clause C, the proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board for the old and new municipal building.
All those in favor of the resolution? Seeing no objections, carried. We'll move into closed.
But
We're live? Thank you, Angie. Item number 14 is business arising from closed, but it's actually not, there's nothing actually arising from closed. But Councilor Diamond, you would ask if we could talk about,
An update on the
Raymore Fire Hall?
Raymore Fire Hall and the land surplus that we're all trying to sell. All the land, surplus, if we had made any headway with it.
so the Raymore Fire Hall is the for sale date is ends on the 30th of June, so it's Friday. If it doesn't sell, then we're gonna put the RFP out to take it down, and that RFP is ready to go. So it's sort of next week. We don't get it.
And then the land can be put up for sale again at surplus land.
Yeah, and we're still working on it. I want to make sure we've got. Like, we can identify all the land, but I want to make sure it's surplus to our uses too, right? So, and then you'll see, and we already have. Quite a bit, right? Sorry, surplus.
Oh, yes.
So we're gonna look color code those on. GIS map and bring them to council once we completed the whole other sort of puzzle. And then we decide if we want to send this places. Some of them might be insignificant, half a lot. Little piece of triangle, something like that, and others should be much larger.
What about our other land or something? Do we not have a,
Yes, he is, I'm waiting to hear back from him, because he was the other bidder. So I don't know if he might have a tasting department, he doesn't want to buy from us.
But we also have, I have another possible investor that may be interested also.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, that's a big piece of land there, and somebody can't put it into this. I mean, if you look at, trucks, part of the lot, trucks, at the little co-ops between here and in gas. Quick, only to be able to realize that this concept would work very well in too.
And in the end, you'll have some money available for it, but
That's.
that came out of the highway on the TV.
Oh, okay. Well, it's even better.
When Kristen's up here, it's another item we can discuss.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Does that cover your questions?
Yep.
And I don't think there's anything else other than your adjournment.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
I need a mover and a seconder for the most important. I've got Councilor Rondo and Councilor Drury. Most important resolution.
It was moved by Councilor Rondo and seconded by Councilor Jure that this regular meeting of council is hereby adjourned at 8:04 p.m.
All those in favor of the resolution? Seeing no objections for sure, carried.
Yeah, I like the name of the Raymore site.
Only a minute, I don't.
The new Raymore.